Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Taryn Southern with CoinOpTV here at Gallery 1988 in West Hollywood. As you can see behind me, a huge crowd has formed in order to get into the second annual iam8bit art show exhibition. Now, over 120 artists actually contributed their time and effort into creating this tribute to video games of the 1980s. So we're going to head on inside and see who's lurking about. The first person we run into in this mass of people is Seth. You guys all know Seth with 8-Bit Weapon, a micro musician of sorts. Seth, give us an update on what you've been up to since we last talked to you.
Been doing a lot, getting a lot of contracts with lots of internet companies to do jingles for their websites. Did a score for a Disney short that'll be out this summer.
Oh, really? What Disney short is that?
I don't know if I can legally tell you right now, but it'll be out in June or July.
That's big stuff.
Yeah, it was all 8-bit, all NES sounds, Commodore 64, Game Boy, all of it.
So for those of us who don't know, what does an 8-bit song sound like?
Well, for some of us, it'll recall the memories of Atari, and television, Commodore 64, Nintendo Entertainment System, all the old 8-bit rough, dirty sounds that come right off the chip.
What was the video games that inspired you to make these particular posters?
Well, on this one, Pango was the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, I'm going to do a Pango painting. So nobody's
Were you a big fan of Pango?
I was. So I figured do a Pango. I did Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. That's kind of like a turtle from Super Mario Brothers, and then Q*bert and Frogger. So I tried to do a little collage of all the characters I liked. We
are so excited to come over here and see your piece because it was actually one of the first ones that caught my eye.
Oh, thanks.
And I want to know what your inspiration behind the piece is, first of all.
Well, the inspiration is, I'm sure most of the people out there who play video games can identify with this, is that your girlfriend being ignored by you playing too many video games.
Oh my gosh, so this is the theme behind the naked girl with the Darth Vader mask on.
Yes, she's trying to get attention.
Does this happen in your real life?
It did for a little while, but she likes video games just as much as me, so.
Okay, so are you still with the girlfriend?
Yes, I am, actually.
All right, we're here taking a look at the first 8-bit sculpture of the night, created by Stone. And Stone, we don't have to look too hard to determine what this is. It's obviously inspired by Pac-Man.
Yes.
Any particular creature from Pac-Man? Blinky, Pinky?
Not really. Pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
They all get eaten, so.
What are these horn-like structures coming out of the sculpture?
Kind of like, skull and crossbones, kind of,
I didn't catch on fast enough. I got the Pac-Man part.
They're crossbones.
So it's basically just saying Pac-Man die.
Yeah, well, the ghost from Pac-Man died.
All right, we're over here checking out James HAKOLA's three-dimensional piece titled...
It's called Dig Dug's Funeral.
I love this piece. I think it's so adorable and very creative, and I want to know what the various video game inspirations were for this particular artwork.
Okay, well, I thought a natural choice, if you're going to do a funeral, Dig Dug's halfway there already. I mean, he spends his life under the ground.
Poor Dig Dug, right?
That's, down there and with his blue face, and which is actually blue in the game, so, he's halfway there to begin with. Just off the top here, I got the zombie from Ghouls and Ghosts, got the Lander from Defender, I've got the hot dog from Burger Time, Miss Pac-Man with their running mascara and black bow, I got Q*bert, that's the Puka from Dig Dug, I got a Galaga Bee, and Mario's digging the ditch or filling the ditch, and then that's Fygar, he's the Reverend reading out the eulogy or the service, and I thought he was, since he breathes fire, is sort of like already halfway there to being a minister.
All right, I've got Tommy here with us, video game extraordinaire and funny guy.
It's true.
Who's also
funny looking. No, go ahead.
No. Now you also host. Tell us about your shows on G4.
I do, and I'm going to take over your job if you're not careful. So you better do really well here because I hear,
Is that a threat?
Rob's been calling me. I'm just telling you. He's, not too happy with you.
If I get sick, then you can be my replacement. John is the curator of this amazing event, and he's been running around like crazy with all the artists tonight, but we finally got you.
You got a minute and a half.
Okay, ready? Let's go. How was the show?
It's awesome. Have you seen the crowd? Like, it's wrapping around.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, what do you think of this turnout?
I can't say that we expected it, but, you know, to be cocky, we did, of course, because we're awesome.
I've managed to corner Elizabeth Ito over by her beautiful, charming piece.
I had a really nostalgic memory of Mega Man and like me playing the game, so I wanted to do a piece that kind of like felt like when you're little and you like a bunch of things. So I tried to do something that looks kind of like old like children's books.
And here on Gallery 1988's center wall is Cameron TIEDE's piece on, obviously, the Mario Brothers. Even I know this. So I don't think I need to ask you what your inspiration for this piece was.
Probably not.
But I can ask you, was this your favorite video game when you were growing up?
It's a toss-up between this and Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man's another favorite. But this is a really, really cool exhibit. It's three-dimensional, but it's also fairly flat, and you've got it really spread out. So did you actually have to come here to the gallery to put it together?
I did. I set it up. It took me a couple hours a few days ago, yeah.
That's interesting. It's probably one of the few pieces that wasn't actually completed in the safety of your bedroom or at home.
Definitely an installation piece.
All right, the crowd is so big now that we've squeezed ourselves into this little corner. I'm here with Aaron.
DELLA, VEDOVA.
DELLA VEDOVA. I knew I was going to have a problem. You know, when I was practicing and I had it.
I should
Anyway.
have trusted you more.
Well, okay, Aaron DELLA VEDOVA.
Good job.
Tell us about your beautiful painting, which is right here behind us.
You know, in a nutshell, it's my memories of a child when I first got introduced to video games, which my first interaction was probably the Atari. You know, prior to that, I rode my bike, I played outside, got the video game for Christmas, and that was pretty much the end of that, you know.
No more riding bikes outside?
A lot of indoor activities from there forward. So the little girl has found her Atari joystick, and this is her looking at herself because she's losing a piece of her life.
A few years back, actually in '99, I discovered emulators where I could actually emulate just the music from video games and play it at work or at home. And I was like, you know what, I could totally remix these. So I started remixing them, and then I found on eBay and other sources ways to actually use the consoles and computers as musical instruments.
So now you create this music, right? You mix it yourself.
All original, no samples, no covers, all original, right off.
You don't use like a Mario Brothers theme song?
At shows, I do perform it for the crowd, but the body of my work is 100% original.
Now, is it danceable?
Completely danceable. In fact, you're listening to it right now and you don't even know it.
What's an 8-bit dance look like?
I don't know.
There we go. No, that's great. That's great. Here with Thomas Hahn. What do you think of this huge crowd that is gathered to see everyone's art?
It's definitely ridiculous, and as much as I try to prepare for it, I never could, because it's just there's such an array of people from young to old to like every genre.
Is this the type of artwork that you always work on, or are you?
Yeah, I'm always doing like illustrated type paintings and stuff like this. A lot of character driven. This kind of stuff.
Where does the process even begin when you're starting a painting like this? You start with the characters and then do the background?
I usually draw like a small thumbnail, like an idea sketch, and I just like, okay, this looks cool. I'll lay out like how the background's gonna go. And then I like start coming up with my characters, draw them on there really loosely, blow it up, and then redraw it till it looks nice, transfer it, and then paint it.
That was actually flat steel at one time, welded flat, and then air put onto it, and it just balloons out.
And then after you're done, you have to paint the sculpture as well. It looks like there's some different tones of color in there. Even though it may look black on camera, there's a lot of tones going on.
Yeah, it's a chemical. It's called blackener. They use it for blacken like guns and stuff, like bluener, to refinish guns and stuff like that.
Is this how you typically do a lot of your artwork, or is this something new for you?
I kind of wanted to try something new. I was working with pastels. I usually do like a lot of hand-drawn stuff, so I guess it's kind of like how I work most of the time, but it's just kind of a little bit of a different medium, so I wanted something that felt like a children's book. So I think that like pastels have that feeling a little bit more.
I use the kind of clay that a lot of toy makers use. It's called Sculpey, and I make the figures, but then I cast them to give them sort of, I like to cast them in colors and not just paint them, so they're actually solid color all the way through, and then just kind of highlight them with the appropriate colors. And the ground, I was originally going to use actual real dirt for the ground, but I decided maybe that was a little messy, so I went with sort of foam and Bondo and covered it with a layer of more stuff.
So how do you compose music for video games?
How do I?
Yeah.
Very well. No, no,
What's the process of composing music for video games?
yeah, well, basically, that I sit down with the designer and the producers, and they they tell me the storyline. Sometimes they show me levels or storyboards, and I just kind of sit there, play the game, and wait for stuff to come to my head, and run up in my studio and figure it out on the piano, and then get a big orchestra to play it back live.
That's gotta be the coolest job ever.
I got to be honest with you, it's pretty damn cool.
Do you have other pieces that are similar in terms of being related to coin-op games and 8-bit games?
Yes. I paint things from my childhood, like Ataris and stuff, and like 8-bit stuff and stuff.
Okay, now what's your favorite 8-bit game?
I would have to say Demon Attack from Atari.
Demon Attack? Do you plan on making any art pieces relating to Demon Attack?
Maybe in the future, yeah.
Do you own any video games now?
I do not.
You threw them away?
It's like video games to me are like drugs. If they're around, I'll abuse them. Yeah. I'm a painter. I'm a tattoo artist. I'm a business owner. I have a baby. Like, if I threw a video game into that mix, something is going to break down.
It'd be over.
Something's going to give, and I'm not willing to pay that price. So.
Do you still play the coin-ops?
Here and there. Like, whenever I see one, like, I'll play one if it's like someplace I have time to play, of course.
Do you still play, or are you just focus on your painting?
I really like, right now my favorite game is probably Katamari Damacy. It's like this game where you roll up stuff on a ball.
What do you think of the rest of the paintings here?
Love it. This show is so awesome this year. Last year was good. This year blew it out of the way. Yeah. Like Axis's piece, Stephen Daly's piece, Adam Hathorn's piece, like Bob Dobbs' piece. So many good artists are in this show. Thomas Hahn, Joe Ledbetter. It's like amazing artists.
This show alone last year, just the press it got and like everything it did for like my popularity was ridiculous. I mean, I had
popularity.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You getting the ladies now?
I have a lady, so I can't really do anything.
We had a lot of artists in the last show, and then we tried to seek out like more worldly artists, if you will. So like guys from England, guys from Europe, guys from Australia, like Canada.
Did they actually fly here for this exhibit?
Some guys are here from Canada. Some guys are from DC all the way across country. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Hey, you even got some artists arriving in style. Check this out. Even limousines. It's no longer about starving artists anymore.
This is pretty awesome. Who do we think this is?
Now, have you seen the Video Games Live concert that we put on? You haven't been to one of the concerts yet. Dude! What? Look, you gotta check out Video Game. Stop that. You have to check out Video Games Live. Video Games Live is
.com,
but it's all the greatest video game music of all time, played by a 60-piece orchestra, 30-person choir, synchronized video, lasers, lights. Just like that. Maybe we can hire you to go dancing on stage. You get a little princess outfit.
I have other talents too.
You're a princess. You'd make a great Q*bert, in fact.
If someone would just hand me a huge Pac-Man suit, I would be in it.
Video games sometimes get negative press because of Grand Theft Auto or the politicians and the rating system.
Or obese children.
Well, hey, you said it, not me. But you're not doing so shabby yourself, though. I gotta say, you're keeping it in line, which is good. It's always good to see that.
Bike ride a day keeps the doctor away.
Is that the deal? Yeah. Is that the deal? But and that's the great thing is that here we are celebrating the art and the culture of video games, and I think you're going to be seeing a lot of this in the future, which I think is wonderful.
This exhibit was clearly a success. What do you have in store for next year? What are your goals?
No comment.
Wow, it is 9:30, an hour and a half after the exhibit began, and there is still a line stretching down the block to see the iam8bit exhibit. But we are going to wrap things up. Oh, thanks guys for joining us. I hope you had a good time. Who else brings you all the best in retro gaming? CoinOp Television, that's who. It's the best quarter you never spent.